Joined in the studio now by Attorney Alexis Richards. Alexis, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Alexis, tell us what they might call you about today.
The listeners could call about probate, avoiding probate, wills, and powers of attorney.
Now, Alexis, I've noticed that we're getting more and more probates for timeshares, people who lived out of state but happen to own a timeshare here in the state of Florida. And sometimes they're doing a probate in their home state, but when you do a probate in another state, that probate court cannot handle probate outside that state. Just like if we do a probate in Florida, the Florida probate court cannot handle a vacation home in North Carolina.
Exactly.
And so when you have to do a probate in another state, that type of probate is called
an ancillary administration.
So these people that are calling us, the mom and dad lived in another state, but they happen to own a timeshare in Florida, then now you're doing an ancillary administration here in the state of Florida for the timeshare.
Yes, we do a lot of those, and we get phone calls about those all the time.
And when that phone call comes in, do you talk to them about, hey, what's the value of that timeshare? Do people have any idea what the value of it is?
Sometimes they do. Other times they don't. However, though, I've found recently, because we do so many, whether it's Disney, Marriott, all the different ones out there, there are some that have a decent amount of value, surprisingly, that I actually found out through one that I'm doing. Just these points, timeshares alone were valued at just under $40,000.
Oh, wow.
And that was actually based on the points and, the current market. I was very shocked because I always thought that they were like way, way, way less. But for the timeshares, though, I did get a phone call within the last 2 weeks where I was helping someone avoid probate on a timeshare. So that was a nice change of pace where I'm like, oh, yay, you're avoiding probate.
I think you're right that the vast majority of timeshares do not have a value, and we're talking about monetary value. Sometimes they have a sentimental value for people, families that have been using them forever and ever. And sometimes they really do have monetary value, like we know Disney and what was the other one you mentioned maybe? Marriott. So,
yeah.
So sometimes they do have a financial value, and so therefore they're worth running through probate. But in the perfect world, Alexis, if somebody lived outside the state of Florida and they owned a timeshare or even a vacation home in Florida, they would call us and say, look, when we pass away, we want to make sure we avoid probate on this timeshare or a Florida vacation home and take care of that before they pass away so probate won't have to be done.
Exactly.
When we talk about people avoiding probate on timeshares, most typical method would be, well, first of all, check in with your kids, make sure they want it.
Mm-hmm.
But if their son Billy wants the timeshare when mom and dad pass away, the typical way of doing it would be to add Billy's name to the deed to the timeshare so that mom, dad, and Billy all own the timeshare, all as joint tenants' rights of survivorship. That's really the easiest way to avoid probate on them.
And that's what I did in this situation where I was helping this man avoid probate on his timeshare, and we added his daughter.
So adding your child's name to the deed to a timeshare, okay. We're down with that.
Yes.
We do not suggest that you add your child's name to a normal house or condo or vacation home. No, we don't want to add their names to those kinds of properties. Mm-hmm. But yes, we're okay with adding their names to a timeshare.
Yes.
Just because they have so little value typically.
Correct.